Hey superstars, this is really annoying. All I wanted to do was vent my frustrations and my feelings and help somebody in the process, and technology has failed me. Like it was trying to stop me in my tracks. So I'm now sat on my PC looking all formal with my headset, which I didn't want. But here we are. It's really annoying because I've already recorded this video and it didn't save because I have no storage on my phone. But the reality is, panic and anxiety isn't what a lot of people think it is. Naturally, when you say anxiety, people just sort of think, oh, you're scared of something physical, like as if a tiger was coming to eat you. You'd be scared of that and run away, and that would be natural fight and flight, to run away from a danger that really was a danger. And a lot of people don't understand that anxiety is way more complicated than that. And fight and flight can malfunction. And when you are suffering with panic and anxiety, your fight and flight is malfunctioning. It's telling you there's danger when there isn't a physical danger. So you're not having to physically run away from something that's going to eat you like a dinosaur. It's a case of your body is perceiving something as dangerous, and your body is gearing up to run away from what they perceive as dangerous. But because there is nothing to run away from in physical form, the adrenaline that starts pumping around your body has to do something. So because you're not physically using that adrenaline, it manifests in the form of a panic attack, and that can look very different for so many people. When I was 17, I was officially diagnosed with panic disorder and anxiety disorder and depression. I had all three. I still struggle very much with the anxiety and self-esteem, and I battle that every day. It's an everyday battle. You just never stop battling it. That's the reality. People look at me because I'm a DJ and I'm a children's entertainer and I've been on a stage since I was 4, and they're like, "Oh, she's got it together. She's confident." But it's not true. It's an illusion. But I'm not purposely going out of my way to make people think that I'm together and that because I have got a very bouncy side to me. I've got, the true essence of me. I'm very bouncy. I love to dance. I love music. Music is the essence of me, really. It's how I channel my emotions, how I understand my emotions. It's how I gain clarity in a world that is so difficult to navigate and so hard. And over the years, I have come to understand myself, because I've had to really go within and learn about myself and learn about why I do what I do, or I react the way I react. And it's very complicated, but the fact is I'm learning to try and be better, to try and be the best version of myself. And I've been on this journey for a very long time. In 2018, I really woke up spiritually. I really woke up to myself. I really woke up to the matrix and realized I couldn't keep living that loop. But that doesn't mean to say that I don't fall off the wagon. It's not, a spiritual awakening is not glamorous. It's not hunky-dory. It's waking up to reality, to the truth, and knowing that you're not insane. It's knowing that you're not insane even when people try to make out you're insane, and that you're wearing a tinfoil hat and you're a conspiracy theorist and all that. It's knowing that you go down these rabbit holes in life, and it doesn't matter when somebody says you're talking out your ass. The fact is, you recognize that these things are true, and there are so many people, thousands, millions of people around the world saying the same thing. So when you think, well, there are so many people singing off the same song sheet, I'm not going crazy. It's just I see it. Just because they don't see it doesn't mean it's not real. Just like God. A lot of people would say God's not real, but how do you know? Just because you can't see it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. And a lot of it does come down to belief, but you know what you know and you see what you see. And I've seen things, I've experienced things, and I know things that a lot of other people don't. And I have that discernment, that intuition. And sometimes my intuition's way off, and that's usually when I'm in fight and flight. And I have come to notice patterns that in fight and flight, when I'm in this heightened state of panic, it is right before a big change, a big transition. But it's also because I'm suppressing something, I'm ignoring something. And I won't necessarily know exactly what I'm ignoring until the clarity comes and the fog lifts. But fog is heavy. It's very heavy when you navigate stress and anxiety and panic. It clouds your judgment. And at the moment, I've lost my way. I am walking around in fog. I have lost my way, and I think part of the problem is I've forgotten who I am. I'm so focused on one path and getting there that along the way I've just kind of forgotten that I need to be myself still, and I need to do what lights me up along the way. Even if I have a goal and a location that I'm planning to get to, I still need to honor who I am, and that's my own fault. It's nobody else's fault. It's my own fault. I have just got so absorbed into my goals that I've just got so absorbed into it and so overwhelmed that I've just kind of fallen off the wagon, and I'm now stood still, and I need to keep moving forward. And even though things are moving forward around me very slowly, patience is something that I learned a long time ago, that you have to have patience. I was always a very spontaneous individual for the longest of time, that everything had to be done yesterday. But I have learned along the way that you have to be slow, that slow and steady wins the race, that you have to be meticulous. You have to make sure that whatever you're doing, I know I can't control the outcome and I can't control how it happens, but to some degree you have to have some sort of a plan. And in my mind, I have children, and I have to make sure that my children are fine regardless, because it's really difficult. And I hope that I'm all over the place, because this is my mind. I am all over the place. I am literally, I can't think straight. I can only do things that are on reflex. Like, I can look after my kids, I can do the housework, I can do things on reflex I don't have to think about. But anything I have to think about, I struggle with at the moment. And ultimately, there are things that I really, really want that I'm trying to get, and I can't force them. And I think this is where I'm just having to take a step back, and the universe is going, no, we're putting a pause on you because you've forgotten a lot of the lessons that you learned. And a big lesson is patience and not forcing things. They happen when they happen. They happen in their own time, divine timing. They happen however they're going to happen, and I can't control that. And it's remembering that. I can take steps and I can take action, but whatever happens, happens. I have to just go with the flow. And I've forgotten that. And I've forgotten that I strive to help people. And that's why I'm doing this video. I'm not doing it for attention. I'm not doing it for sympathy. I'm doing it because I'm struggling. And I understand that unless people struggle with anxiety and panic disorder and they go through it when they fall off the wagon, I don't see it as a disorder now, really. I still call it that because that's what I was diagnosed with many moons ago. But I don't know. I see it as a wake-up call now, that my body is picking up on things that my mind's slow to catch up with. My subconscious is probably knows. My conscious awareness of it is not there, and my body's trying to jolt me into wake up, see the light. And this is why I haven't been this bad in a long time, and that I didn't need Bowen therapy anymore, because I was doing so well. But obviously somewhere along the line I'm ignoring something, and I am not quite sure what that is, but I'm piecing it together slowly. And the problem is the physical attributes that go with it, the brain fog. When I was 17, my panic attacks used to manifest to the point where my legs would go like jelly and I couldn't walk, and it was humiliating. I did all my college work from home on dial-up internet because I couldn't go into college because of the humiliation. I had a panic attack like that in college, and I couldn't walk, and I had to wait for my mum to come and get me. I also had a panic attack like that at a friend's house, and an ambulance was rung. And the problem is, when you're in panic, you need people around you to be calm, and they need to be reassuring. And they don't necessarily need to say, oh, you're okay, but they just need to talk to you and distract you from what's going on. And I don't blame anybody, because, when you're in a state of panic and you don't know what's happening and they don't know what's happening, they're going to panic naturally. They're going to go into fight and flight, like, oh my God, what's wrong with my friend? And they didn't know that they made me worse. And ultimately, I think the problem I have is that I struggle to accept help. But I think even more so is that I know that no one can help me. When I'm in these states, no one can help me. I have to help myself. And ultimately, I'm responsible for my own mind, my own happiness. I'm responsible for who I am and how I react to things and how I treat people. And I don't ever mean to push people away or treat people badly. I'm just struggling, and I'm just putting one foot in front of the other, trying to get through the day. And I know that I have to just do things to help myself, and it's really difficult to navigate the rest of the world around you when you're just trying to function. So it's just come down to the point where it's like, well, my health is more important, because I don't have anything if I don't have my health. And it really has to stress the fact that I've been saying it for many years, that mental health is probably far more important than physical health, because the two go together. If your mental health is out of whack, it affects your physical health. And if your mental health is not in a good space when you are when you're physically unwell, your mental health is what brings you back. It's what gets you through. It's what helps you get better. And if your mental health is not there, you're never going to get better physically. So your mental health is probably number one. And this is where society forgets that, and it just shoves it in a box, and it's like, oh, who cares about your mental health? We care about money, we care about statistics, we care about meeting our quotas. We don't care about your mental health, because but the fact is, I do. Very much so. I care about other people's mental health, I care about my own, and I've always strived that I always said, in helping others you help yourself, which I still fully believe, but I've forgotten my own values, and I'm reminding myself today that in helping yourself you help others. You cannot help other people if you are depleted. We are all energy, and when our energy is gone, we have to top it back up. However that works for whoever you are, it's different for everybody, but we have to do whatever works for us. We have to put ourselves first. We have to, at the moment I have an empty cup. My cup's empty. I've given everything I have, and I have nothing left to give. So I'm trying to give what I don't have. So I have to take a step back and think, right, well, what am I ignoring? What am I not? What needs am I ignoring? What am I not meeting? What boundaries do I need to set to meet those needs? What am I suppressing? So I'm now having to recalibrate and figure that out, because this won't stop until I figure out the trigger. And I am ignoring something. So I've been in floods of tears, and trying to make these videos, I kept falling apart. But maybe the reason the technology failed me was because I'm now together and the clarity is setting in, and I was able to do a video that's more helpful to the individual than just me sat here in floods of tears crying. I am not dressed, and I'm going to have to go in a minute because I've got to take my daughter to work. See, life doesn't stop. And just because I'm a DJ and children's entertainer and I've been on the stage since I was 4 doesn't mean that I have it together. It doesn't mean that I know what I'm doing. It doesn't, I literally have to battle every day to be like this, to be, and to be able to support other people. But you have to help yourself to help others. So they both work. In helping others, you help yourself, and you help others, you help yourself. So when you are helping others, you are naturally helping yourself, because you learn something from it. We're always learning. Even myself, I've learned so much, and that doors have opened for me, and I've walked through them instead of being too scared to, because the unknown is scary, but everything good in life is on the other side of fear, and we just have to work through that fear to get through to the other side. And I think at the moment I'm at another door, and I have to walk through the door, and that's all I want, is to walk through that door. And it's scary, and it's hard, and I'm struggling, because I'm being met with so many slam doors in my face of directions that I'm trying to achieve my goal, to walk through this door, and I can see this door, and I'm trying to get there, but I've got all these other hurdles and everything just slamming in me, and I'm struggling to jump over the hurdles, walk through these other doors to get to this big main door that I need to go through, and it's just hard. And there are other things that get in the way as well, and emotionally it's hard. So I guess what I'm trying to do is just let everybody know. Sorry, I'm just my son. Just to let him know that I'm recording and I just need 5 more minutes. It's just to let everybody know that you're going to be okay. It's hard. And it's a mental fuck. And you're going to have tears. You're going to have doubts. You're going to have fear. You're going to be in fight and flight. You're going to have anxiety attacks. And anyone that understands what panic attacks really feel like, I really have complete empathy, because no one that has not suffered through anxiety or panic attack will understand, and they can't ever understand. And it's not even about when people say, I was thinking about this really, I overthink everything. But yesterday I was thinking about, like, if somebody doesn't walk in the same shoes as you, they can't understand you. But I was like thinking, but actually that's not a true analogy, because you can put someone else's shoes on and you can walk in their shoes, but that doesn't mean you feel how they feel when they wear those shoes. That doesn't mean you understand what they're getting at when they're wearing their shoes. So they might say, oh, when I wear these shoes, they hurt my feet. And someone else put the shoes on and go, well, they don't hurt my feet. So in actual fact, when you say, like, until you've walked in my shoes, you can walk in someone else's shoes and still not understand. So that analogy is actually a load of crap. Yeah, leave it to me to overthink it. But yes, I'm a very deep feeler, a very deep thinker, and I probably overanalyze everything, but I do it because I care, and because I love deeply and I love hard. And when I love deeply and I love hard and I care about people, I just want them to be happy. But sometimes I forget my own happiness along the way too. So I haven't really felt like DJing, streaming. I haven't felt like doing any of that. But the one thing that I do realise is that music is a very much a big part of me, and I am getting all my thoughts and feelings down in songs, and you'll probably see another song release soon, because I can see that, I have been writing my thoughts and feelings down on paper. So another song will transpire out of that very soon. I'm full of them. I've got years and years and years worth of feelings that I need to get down on paper. But anyway, the point of this was just to empower anybody that's feeling really lost, really alone, because it is very lonely. When you're going through panic and anxiety, it's very, very lonely. So this is just to empower anybody that you can get through it. And sound baths, I went to a sound bath yesterday and it was amazing. I'm still not 100%, but sound baths, Bowen therapy, cognitive therapy helped me for panic and anxiety, so I'd recommend it just for that. But there are so many therapies out there. You don't need antidepressants. I don't recommend that at all, because that just takes away your emotions and suppresses who you are, and you're just putting chemicals in your body that doesn't serve you in the long run. I don't recommend anybody go to a doctor, really. Doctors never helped me. They made me worse, actually. I actually just recommend that you find holistic ways to help yourself, and getting out for walks in nature is really grounding. I know it sounds cliche, but hugging a tree actually does help. And there is a weighted blanket. I went to bed, I forgot I had a weighted blanket, and I went to bed with that on me last night, and it did really help regulate. It's not 100%, but I feel a lot better today than I did yesterday. So there are lots of things out there that can really help and support your nervous system. And I probably need to do videos talking about it, but that will come as I gain my energy back. But I'm gaining clarity, and I've just lost myself along the way of trying to achieve my goals, and I just need to remember who I am. So anyway, love and light to everybody out there, superstars, and I am wishing you well and wishing you lots of happiness. And I'm going to have to go because my daughter's going to be late for work if I don't. So happy Thursday, superstars, and keep that chin up and keep moving forward. Remember, slow and steady wins the race. It's not about speed, it's just about getting there. Bye for now.